And good morning at 7:04 on this Wednesday, June 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. It is a Wednesday and we welcome you to Coleman and Company. And we welcome Bob McDonald here to talk about Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Good morning.
Good morning.
How is it with you?
Going great. Great to be with you. I look forward to your program coming up for the first half. I was going to talk about
I think you look forward to our program almost every Wednesday.
I do.
But sometimes some are a little more special than others.
Some are special. When you have Mark Hinesley on, that's always special. And then when you've got my friends from Cumberland on, like you do today, that's always special. I was going to open up by just talking what a great time everyone had at the Phoenix Ball this past Saturday night. I'm sure they'll talk about that some, but I thought it was, Susan and I have been going, this was our 27th Phoenix Ball, and this was just as smooth as I've ever seen it, and great turnout and a great mix of people, young and old, and I thought Sean and Lindsay did a great job as the chairpersons, and so congratulations, Rusty. It was a great evening.
Thank you, Al.
Great to be a part of it.
They figured out a way to have fun and make money at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's terrific. Again, we've been going for so long, and we've seen so many of the same folks, which is important. You know, we need consistency. We need that type of loyalty. But it's also great to see the next generation of Cumberland supporters be on campus, and a lot of these folks are coming back for year after year, so now they're becoming regulars, and that's important. So glad to see that. It's a great transition you're making, Rusty. So congratulations, and again to Sean and Lindsay, they did a terrific job. And I want to comment before we talk about banking or whatever you want to talk about. But you had Tdec Grant on last week or 2 weeks ago, and you know what a great guy, isn't he? I mean, he's so talented.
It was last Thursday.
Was it last Thursday? Okay, he's so talented. You know, he's a home builder. He's got skills in so many trades like electricity and plumbing and painting and carpentry. And of course, you know, also he's a singer and a songwriter and a musician, and has been doing that for virtually all of his adult life. And we've had him at the bank a few times when we have events. And I remember the first time we had him, I think it was for our 10th anniversary, and so I asked him to put together a band and to perform for us, to have some background music, and he did. And I said, Tdec, what's the name of your band? He said, well, we don't have a name. He said, I just picked up some guys who I've known over the years. I said, we got to have a name for the band. Huh. And so we talked about it for a few minutes, and we came up with Tdec Grant and the Cedar Stoners, and it stuck. And so we've had him a few times since, Tdec Grant and the Cedar Stoners. So we had the biggest time with that.
Well, I've not heard that. I think that's great.
Oh, it was terrific. We had a lot of fun with that. And I'm not making him pay any royalties for the idea that I had on that. He can use that for free. And one of his guitar player, he was British, and his last name was Harrison. And word started getting around that afternoon that he's George Harrison's cousin. And so I went to Tdec. I said, Tdec, is it true? Is he George Harrison's cousin? He said, well, I've heard that, and I'm going with it. I'm going to stick with it. And I said, well, so am I. So I've told people that George Harrison's cousin played it as part of the Tdec Grant and the Cedar Stoners. So we're sticking with that story. But, all right, you want to get serious now?
Yeah, what about banking?
Banking. Let's talk about the economy. A lot of mixed signals coming out about the economy. You hear different people say different things about expectations. We heard 2 weeks ago the chairman of J.P. Morgan say that a hurricane is coming. We've heard the chairman of Bank of America say that we should have a soft landing and that we should not hit a recession. So, you know, who knows? We had a meeting at the bank yesterday, one of our board committee meetings, and we had our economist joining us on the phone. And they're expecting for the June and July Fed meeting another 0.5 point bump, both in June and July. So they're trying to get that Fed funds rate up to around 2.5%. So they're hopeful that that's going to help combat inflation. You know, they want inflation to be close to 2%. It's now about twice that. So, but everything appears to be calm here. Of course, we're experiencing inflation with gas prices and food prices and so forth, but we're not seeing panic in our customers. We're not seeing panic in our markets, such as Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. So, but we're keeping a close eye on that. Rates are still very good at Coleman. Just because the Fed will be increasing rates that much here in the next 2 months doesn't mean that parlays into increase in rates for like car loans and home loans. Those increases have already been, as we say, baked into those. So don't be panicked when you hear about rates going up that much, because it really doesn't have that large of an impact on mortgage loans, car loans, business loans, those type of things. So let's just remain calm and let this thing play out.
All right. And in the meantime, if you don't have a free checking account, we know where you can get
Yes,
one.
we got them, Coleman, completely free checks, free online banking with bill pay. You can use your Cedarstone ATM card anywhere in the world. We've got a customer now who's traveling in Greece, and they're using their ATM card all over Greece. And so we're delighted that we can serve in that way. So for those who don't bank with us, we invite them to come by and see us. We can talk about that.
All right, 3 locations, of course, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Bob, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Coleman.
All right. Bob McDonald, President, Chief Executive Officer for Cedarstone Bank. We're 10 and a half after the hour, and this is the Wednesday that we feature Cumberland University, and Rusty Richardson is with us as usual this morning. Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Have you ever missed one of these appointments? Have you been here every Wednesday when we featured Cumberland so far?
Ever since I got that as part of my job responsibility, I've been here every month.
Well, you always have some interesting people to talk to. We have a good time, and we find out a lot more about Cumberland, I think, than we would know otherwise. And of course, we talked about graduation. I believe graduation had just occurred when you were here last time.
Just occurred right before I was here last month in May, and the largest graduating class ever.
We have talked about the Phoenix Ball a little bit, but we mostly got Bob's input there.
Well, and Cedarstone's always one of our great sponsors for that, and we have so many wonderful sponsors. ServPro is the presenting sponsor again this year. They've done that 2 years in a row. We have about 30 different sponsors, so I'm not going to take time to name all of them, but just a big shout out and a thanks to all of them for really helping make the ball such a success. We had 450 people there, which was our maximum number that we can hold in the gym.
450.
450.
So we can say you sold out.
We sold out back in February before Save the Date cards went out, before invitations went out. And in fact, we've already had 2 people that were not able to attend this year that have already put in their reservations for tables for next year. So the event next year is first Saturday in June, which will be June 3rd. And just a great time. And the campus is transformed since Saturday night.
Wow.
Because we were all set up for the ball and had all the tents and canopies and just everything looking beautiful. The minute all that equipment came down on Monday, the construction started on the new entrance to Memorial Hall. So suddenly, instead of beautiful tents and canopies, you have construction fence, equipment, construction trailers, you name it.
Quite a different site.
It's quite a different site. So when people come to the event this weekend that we'll talk about in a minute, they'll see a lot of activity going on with that construction area. But it's a good sign of progress, so we're looking forward to that.
And the construction is going to be done rapidly here, hopefully by the time school begins in the fall?
According to President Stump, he says it will be done by the time the students return in August.
His word,
I'm going to
not
leave
yours.
it there.
We'll see.
We're optimistic they can get it done in that time frame, so that when the students do come back in August, that it's all set and ready to go. And it's going to be such a great addition to that entrance into the Memorial Hall, which is the main building on campus, of course. It'll be more handicap accessible. It'll have a much different look to it. still maintaining the architecture of the original building, but it's going to be just a terrific improvement and one that's been long overdue. So we're delighted that's finally started.
Seen the architectural drawings, and you're excited.
Oh, yes. In fact, the guest on Saturday night at the Phoenix Ball saw an image of that, saw several images of that, and we also had a pile of dirt so they could help break ground for it. So we were totally prepared for that.
Well, we can get our program introduced this morning, and then we need to take a break. But you have a couple of ladies with us this morning, and I've known for quite some time, who've been my guests many times in the past. It's nice to see them, but introduce them if you
All right.
will.
Very pleased to introduce Candy Partee and Judy Lee, both members of the Cumberland University Community Arts Council. They work year-round on different events with the Arts Council, and we're so pleased to be able to have them here this morning to talk about the next event at Cumberland, which is this Saturday night.
Candy, good morning.
Well, good morning. Glad to be here.
Well, we are glad to see you and hope you're doing well.
Doing very well, thank you.
Well, and looking forward to Saturday night, no doubt.
We can't wait.
Judy Lee, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You need to get a little closer to the mic here.
All righty.
But how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. And you like Symphony on the Lawn as well.
It's just probably my most favorite thing of the year
Yeah.
with Cumberland.
All right, let's take our break right here. We'll talk more with Rusty and our guest here this morning on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. They have Red Max complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Let's check back in with Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's looking a little bit better now on 65 southbound here at Trinity Lane. From that earlier wreck, it was several cars involved, but again, it's the damage is done now. It's just creeping along on 65 southbound, trying to get past Trinity Lane. It just really aggravated that traffic that normally comes down through there anyway. Some radar out through parts of Kingston Springs this morning. I-40, all that traffic coming in from Dixon County, Hickman County. Be careful. Princess Hot Chicken is hiring at both of their locations. Check them out online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Stephen Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you could afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. We're having a good time here this morning, as we do always on Coleman and Company. Rusty Richardson is Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs for Cumberland University, and we feature Cumberland on this particular Wednesday of each month. Candy Partee and Judy Lee are here today. Cumberland University Community Arts Council, known as Kucak, and they've been here a number of times before for various things, really, but it's good to see both of you again, as I've already said. So, we've got the Symphony on the Lawn, and we want to talk about that, right?
Absolutely. And I'll turn that over to Candy and Judy.
Well, we're really excited because it's been 2 years so that we haven't had the Symphony. So we've just been so excited this year, or when we finally heard that they were coming back, that we just can't stand it. So.
What about this has been to your liking so much? Because you've been a part of this ever since I can remember and seem to really get excited about it. What excites you about the Symphony?
It's just the whole evening, particularly when the weather's good, like it's going to be this Saturday night. We're promised that. It's kind of magical out there on the lawn because everyone comes with their chairs or their blankets. They bring food, or we have our food trucks, and just everyone's so relaxed, and we have such a great time and have wonderful music.
And admission is free.
Admission is free, yes.
It hasn't always been that way, but has for the last few years.
This is probably the third year maybe that we haven't, that it has been free. Prior to that, it was very inexpensive. It was $5
yeah.
and
Right.
students were free.
But
So,
it's especially if it is outside there on the lawn as the sun goes down, and it's just you hear that music, a family thing all together, and families come, and the little children have a good time too. You've even got something for them again. We'll talk about later, but that's what is going to take place, and what's the time on this?
the pre-concert entertainment starts at 5:30, and the Camp Fame musicians, some of them will be playing as that entertainment tonight or Saturday night, and then there'll be a break, and then the Symphony starts at 7 o'clock.
All right.
But there's all sorts of other activities going on.
Well, we'll get into all that. Judy, what do you like most about the symphony?
I'm just so excited about the opportunity for our community to hear symphony music. It's about the only time they get the opportunity without having to go to Nashville and fight the traffic and for children to be able to come. It's such an educational experience for them to be able to hear these instruments that they normally don't get to hear. And I was at the Symphony last Sunday afternoon, and I can tell you they're full. They are wonderful. There are a lot of new faces. That it's exciting to see a lot of the younger musicians that are getting involved in this activity. And they're going to be so excited when they come to Cumberland, I think, this time.
I have heard from more than one person that the people in the symphony really enjoy coming to Cumberland, that I think they do this in other places in Middle Tennessee. They have in the past, at least. And Cumberland was one of their favorites for several reasons. I know you fed them good was one reason, but,
Yes.
but I think that the whole setting and atmosphere is something that they liked as well.
Well, I think they like the lawn, and I do think they really like the reception that we hold for them afterwards. The crowd at that gets bigger every year. So
And sometimes we can't make them leave. They
Yeah,
just keep
yeah.
staying.
Do you know anything about what musical numbers to expect? Is that they sometimes that doesn't get out till towards the end. You're so busy doing all the rest, you don't worry. You know it's going to be good.
that might be a Rusty question. He might know
Yes.
about that, but I don't.
What about
It's
Rusty?
going to be absolutely wonderful music, and I have no idea what they're going to play yet. But I
They
should
will-
get-
The Star Spangled Banner
Yes.
will probably be included in the program.
That's a given.
And if the audience is really good, they'll probably do an encore of Stars and Stripes Forever.
Probably so.
But whatever's in between, we know will be good. Well, they are accomplished musicians, and it is something to see them as that director gets up there and waves the baton, and they all are in unison. Of course, they practiced a little bit, and they're good to start with. But it's just something about that is exciting and really entertaining.
Very.
Well, let's what we need to talk about a couple of things here for the children, for the it's kid friendly.
The petting zoo is one of the favorite things for the children, and they're petting the instruments, and the children can actually pick instruments up, clarinets or oboes or French horns. Or I actually got to try cello out one time, and it's just fun for them to hold those instruments in their hands and see what they do. So I look forward to looking at the children being able to do the petting zoo.
And some of them like that, and maybe later become musicians. of some
We
sort.
hope.
Yeah. And the chalk art.
Yes, that's new this year, and it's kind of to preview our fall event where we do a chalk art contest and festival, really. And we have a virtual, in the fall, we have a virtual contest, and then we actually have the finalists from our virtual contest live doing chalk art there at the campus. So we are actually having chalk art demonstrations on Saturday during between the pre-concert entertainment and the actual concert with the Nashville Symphony. So that's going to be fun for the kids too, and we'll have some chalk, and there are plenty of sidewalks there, and the kids can draw on the sidewalks with chalk.
Okay, so that's something new.
Yes, it is.
Well, again, if you've been to the Symphony before, you pretty much know what to expect. It's pretty much the same every year as far as families come. You bring your own lawn chairs. You can bring a picnic lunch. You can spread it out. All this sort of thing. Nothing is different there. But the fact that we haven't been able to do this for 2 years is exciting for everybody, no doubt, and looking forward to getting back into the way it used to be before COVID, right?
We're hoping for a huge crowd. I mean, we're planning for a big crowd, so.
We want to fill up that whole lawn.
The construction that's going on, you'll be able to see that up to on top of the hill, sort of. But
The two things will be butted up right against each other. So that's the Symphony will be performing on the new patio, which has been part of the expansion of the dining hall. So a bigger area, better backdrop than what they've had in the past, more room. But where that is down more in the middle of Memorial Lawn, there's still plenty of room for, again, as Kenny said, we hope we have thousands of people out there, which if the weather is good, which is going to be, we expect we'll have 1,500 to 2,000 people there. So we encourage everyone to come out. You had mentioned earlier, they do these concerts in different places. This year, the Symphony's only doing 5 of these concerts around Middle Tennessee, and we're so proud that we're one of those 5, and probably the one that's the longest standing because we've been doing this for over 30 years now, except for the last 2 years with COVID.
Well, again, there'll be food trucks that usually have ice cream, available food, a lot of pretty good variety, I think.
Yes, I wanted to mention the food vendors that are going to be there. The Vietnam veterans are new to us this year. It's Chapter 1004, and they're going to have their grill out, and they're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs and other things. And so we're extremely excited to have them for the first time. And then we have, again, another one for the first time, Houston's Meat and Produce from Mount Juliet. They're going to be there with barbecue. Okay. So that is also new. Then our regular 2 Fat Man ice cream truck will be there. And everyone loves that ice cream. And do we have the other 2 we were talking about, Rusty?
They're not confirmed yet.
Oh, okay. We have 2 other surprise guests, maybe, for food.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right quick, the mission of Kucak, or CUCAC, however we're going to say that, the Cumberland University Community Arts Council.
Right.
Which one of you want to do that? Both of you talk.
I've got that right
All
here.
right.
All right. The mission, we reformatted or reformed what was originally Kucak, which was Fine Arts Council, to Community Arts Council before COVID, right? That spring, actually. And we changed the name to be more inclusive, to be Cumberland University Community Arts Council. And the mission is to cultivate appreciation and support of the arts for entertainment and enrichment of the community through accessibility, education, and participation. And we want to be we want to establish Wilson County as the premier arts community in Middle Tennessee. That is our goal.
Okay. Well, Candy Partu and Judy Lee, thank you all for being here and talking about the big event Saturday night, the Symphony on the Lawn. But Rusty, you've got several things you want to do in closing, and we got about 3 minutes here.
Okay, the last thing on Symphony on the Lawn, we certainly want to thank our sponsors this year. We have a number of them: Hunt Brothers Pizza, Bob and Pam Black with the Capitol Theater, Lewis Tomlinson, and the 2 Rotary Clubs, the Breakfast Rotary Club and the Noon Rotary Club, have both contributed to this because although it is free and open to the public, we need to pay the Symphony $10,000 to come. So we couldn't do that without those sponsorships. So certainly want to thank all of them.
Sure.
As far as other things going on campus, we are right in the middle of a lot of the sports camps. We have them throughout the summer. You can find out more information about that on the Cumberland website. Every sport, every camp is going on. So we have lots of kids on campus learning how to play tennis and soccer and volleyball and basketball and football and all those sports. We do have our Camp Fame coming up in about 2 weeks. That's the arts camp sponsored by Kucak. We've got over 250 Wilson County youth signed up for that this year. It's a week-long day camp. We also on the 26th had the showcase for that. So that's that Saturday where all the students that have participated in camp get to display and show what they've done that week. And there's a band concert with that as well. In July, we get to the Patrons Party, which is hosted again this year by Lynette and Denise Moore. Tickets are still available for that. That's a kind of a wrap-up for the Phoenix Ball type activity. They can go to phoenixball.com if they're interested in tickets. There's still some room at that, but always a great event. And then the big event we're preparing for the fall is with Tim Tebow at Homecoming on October 8th. So we'll talk more about that next month and in all the coming months between now and October.
There's going to be a lot of talk about that between now and October the 8th.
Absolutely, absolutely. The other things going on, of course, besides the construction on Memorial Hall, parts of different residence halls are being renovated. There's just lots of activity going on, improving the campus. And, of course, the admissions crew is out working hard every day, making sure we've got a record enrollment going into the fall.
One thing's for sure, you don't shut down at summertime.
No, we've talked before about that old song, Summertime and the Living's Easy. That's not true at Cumberland. It's one of the busiest times of the year.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us today, Rusty Richardson, who's here each time we talk about Cumberland, but Candy Partee and Judy Lee and the big symphony on the lawn on Saturday night. Thank you all for being with us as well.
Thank you, Coleman.
Thank
That is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford, and they have a lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still some sluggish traffic here on 65 southbound. Trying to get past Trinity Lane, all from that earlier wreck that jammed it up pretty good. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. We did see some radar. I-40 coming through parts of Dixon County, headed into Kingston Springs. It's starting to build now on 65 out of Murray County up through Williamson County. Not too bad yet, but it's going to get busy northbound 65 up around the Franklin area here in the next few minutes. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out today, GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedarstone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Chances for storms will stick with us this Wednesday. Be prepared for pop-up thunderstorms, but the risk for severe weather is low. High of 83 degrees today, falling to the mid-60s overnight. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Number One Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two here on a Wednesday morning. Keith Haley is with us, and we're going to talk about Herc Rental, formerly Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. A little rain falling, but I bet that hadn't slowed you down too much.
It really has not. I mean, we're moving right along. We're staying busy, and this weekend we had a little bit of an issue with our phones. We switched over to our new system, and so our phones were automatically saying that we were closed.
Oh, no.
And so we got that figured out. We got it worked out, and people were coming in, and they were like, your phones were saying you're closed. Nope, we were wide open, and we were moving right along.
Well, Keith, it's good to see you. We don't have Philip with us today. You think he is on special assignment, as we say. He's gone somewhere.
Yeah.
But you are here, and no doubt you've had time to get oriented, acclimated a little bit here to what was Absolute Rental. and the 20 years that Philip had built this building, and now it's Herc Rental, and I hope things are really going well.
They really are. They're going very good. We're moving right along because we really cater to the homeowner. It is just amazing with the amount of foot traffic and people that are coming in on a daily basis. For example, I mean, we've talked about it before, but we have so many small products. We carry everything. So when you come in to Herc Rentals, formerly as Absolute, we have every type of, from clear coats to if you're redoing your sprinklers, we carry all of sprinkler heads. We carry PVC pipe. We got pine straw, mulch, rock. We really try to make sure it's an all-around experience where you're not having to go to anywhere else when you do come in.
As much as possible, a one-stop destination.
Absolutely. That's the point. Yeah. And
that phone number is still the same too. So many people go to the website and figure out something. They see something there, even the cost of the rental, and you need to call 615-443-RENT and make sure that it's available, or reserve it for the time that you need it. That's still the way it works, right?
It definitely is, and as we get busier, the more notice you can give us, the better. We will always try to find a way to make sure that we take care of everybody. And I think generally we do.
You're still doing delivery if people need that?
We are. Yeah, we still have delivery. We have the same team in place. None of that's changed. Culture's the same. And I feel like as this transition is happening, they're definitely getting quicker. People have been very patient. It took a little bit longer while they're learning the system, but now we're starting to move right along and everybody's picking up very well.
Well, I think we can still use the expression that Philip coined some time ago of everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, but you may want to come up with another one. But you do have so much, and it's on a rental basis. It works well for contractors. It works well for homeowners who are do-it-yourselfers, and you're just there to serve them and meet their needs.
Yes, that's correct. And we are. Nothing is changing as far as the type of equipment they're carrying. All we're doing is adding to it. Like I've said, we're like already we've started bringing in additional scissor lifts, and we're bringing in some more towables. This time of year, I guess I should say, it's starting to get warmer. Gutters need cleaned out. Nobody feels comfortable getting on a 30-foot ladder, so you come pick a 30-foot boom up from us. Go and take care of your gutters, and the time that you're going to spend doing that versus getting on a ladder and sliding it down the road, you're going to still have your weekend. So it's well worth coming down and picking that up.
And I guess that works for almost any height roof. All gutters aren't the same distance from the ground.
No, we carry they're 34-foot, and then we also go up to a 50-foot. And it's a towable lift that has outriggers on it, but it really does do a great job for a homeowner situation where they're trying to get into different type places.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you're doing a lot of right now? Still doing the straw and the mulch and all of that?
Pine straw is still moving, and we still are carrying the mulch. All of it is, we're selling it as quick as we can get it, definitely.
And no doubt got to help me out here. Where you clean your sidewalk with the sprayer. What do you call it?
Pressure washers.
Yeah, pressure washers.
Yeah.
They're a popular item. Aren't they?
They are a popular item, and we're actually in the process of buying a few towables that would have like a big tank on it, and so that if you're in a situation where you don't have access to water, you're able to just fill this water tank up, and then you can do hot or cold with this towable pressure washer. So I plan on having a few of those into the store here in the near future, along with some different type of grinders that would go, very well with all of the clear coats and everything that we're carrying, the sealers. So we're coming soon. That will be at the branch.
Well, speaking of grinders, what about stump grinders? You have them use it, rent them a lot?
We do. We rent quite a few of those. We have those. We have brush chippers. And they're busy. They're definitely staying busy. If that's something you're needing, I would call ahead if possible so that we can fit you into the schedule.
All right, we are about out of time here. Wrap it up for us this morning.
We are still open 7 to 5, Saturdays 7 to 4. And every week it seems like I do say this, but we're looking for a few yard guys and a few mechanics. The mechanics, we do have a toolbox program where it comes with a toolbox full of tools, and we're willing to train you. So if that is something you're interested in, please give us a call. Reach out.
Same phone number here, 615-443-RENT, if you're looking for that job.
It's too catchy. We're not changing it.
All right. Well, Keith, thanks so much. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
Keith Illy, Herc Rentals, formerly Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main. They have what you need. We're 21 before the hour, and Mayor Rick Bell joins us this morning. We probably got a lot to talk about, some of which I'm going to enjoy, and if you don't mention Vanderbilt, we'll be okay this morning. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Your
Coleman.
UT Vols are still going strong. Vanderbilt just needed one more hit the other night.
They are.
They didn't get it.
And I watched a little of that, and I was not going to mention that, but you did. But as a Tennessee fan, I am proud of the Volunteers, and they're moving on.
Well, somebody made a picture of Mike Jennings and put it on Facebook and talked about the smiling mayor. He and Larry Tomlinson were up there. Were you with them? Did you make that picture?
I was not. I could not make that trip Sunday. Larry did text me Sunday morning and asked me about it, and I said, I wish I could go, but I can't. But I watched it on TV that night, and it wasn't easy on us. It was pretty nerve-wracking. But
what is the eighth inning? What, trail till the eighth inning? I think
they went to the top of the ninth behind by one run. They scored 6 in the top of the ninth. And then at the bottom of the ninth, Georgia Tech.
Put all you fans out of your misery.
Well, but then in the bottom of the ninth, though, Georgia Tech scored a couple runs and had the winning run at the plate. So it was a little tense. It was a little tense, but they made it through to this weekend where they're going to play Notre Dame, and hopefully they'll move further along. But it's tense.
It's exciting.
It is. It's tense. It's exciting, and it's really good to be a Tennessee fan right now.
Well, I look for UT to sweep Notre Dame, just win it in 2, and make one of the 8 in the College World Series in Omaha.
Well, I know they're ranked number 1, but once you get to the World Series, everybody's good.
But MJ's Florida team lost LSU. We had 8 possibilities, and 5 of them made it to the Super Regional. But unfortunately for me, Vanderbilt didn't. Unfortunately for MJ, Florida didn't. And for the LSU fans, they didn't make it. So
well,
the 5 still pretty good.
Well, I feel bad for both of you. but that just shows you how strong the conference is. Everybody talks about the SEC and football, but it really is strong in every sport, and it's really strong in baseball.
Really is. Okay, you had a meeting last night. I know you've got a number of things to tell us. We won't spend any more time talking about sports, but you do love the Vols, so that doesn't make you mad.
Well, thank you. It's last night we did have a meeting last night, and it was a pretty basic meeting, but there was one thing that was important that we did, and that was last night was the first reading for the budget for next year, and that's something that we've worked on for a long time now, and Stuart Lawson and Sherry Featherston, his assistant, they've worked really hard putting this together, and all the department heads have too. And we had a lot of work sessions about it with the city council. And first thing I want to say is I want to appreciate everybody doing all the work putting it together, and asked a lot of great questions. But last night they did pass on first read unanimously, and
unanimously.
Unanimously.
All six were there.
All 6 were there.
Yeah.
All 6 voted unanimously, and. One of the things that I do want to highlight is the fact, there's no property tax increase or anything like that. But despite that, our revenues are coming in good enough that we're able to make some additions. We are able to hire 8 new police officers, 6 new firefighters, which, that's really important for public safety and to make sure that those guys are staffed to the extent they can take care of people. So we're able to do that. We're able to add some positions to other departments too, but, police officers and firefighters, I say all the time, they're not only our protectors, but they're our ambassadors as well. They're out there in the community. So that was important. There is one thing, though, that I want to mention. I know you have the newspaper there in front of you, but well,
I'll have to say Chandler Indians is however you pronounce his name. And he does a lot of stories for the Democrat. He's a good writer, I think. I'll praise him a little bit. But he had a story in the Tuesday paper about voting on the budget reading.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of things that attracted my attention. That's why I brought it. But go ahead.
Well, and one of them in there is that I know it mentions there about sanitation carts going from $10 to $15, and actually he left a word out. Those are for our commercial customers.
I finally figured that out.
Yeah, that's for so that is not residential. That's for the businesses that have carts for us to pick up. So the business carts are going up to $15. The residential ones are staying at the original price. So I did announce that last night at the council meeting. Chandler was there. He came up afterwards and said, "Mayor, I'm sorry, that was my fault." I said, "It's okay, Chandler," but I just want to make sure that, that's clarified for everyone that nothing's changed when it comes to that. But for businesses, it will.
Well, it's a little bit different if you own a business, and I mean that's part of your business, the trash that you put out, and you're responsible for that. And so, in the city of Lebanon, you pay to have it picked up if you're a business. But but the part of residential, it's part of paying our property taxes. It is, and I hope it stays that way.
I do too.
I don't like to be nickeled and dimed to death, and one price gets it all right now.
That's why I like it too, and so I agree with you totally. But in the paper it wasn't clear when it said that, so I want to make sure that was clear. But I do want to say this, speaking of sanitation, is that we've talked about before, starting July the 5th, our sanitation routes are going to change, and that means some people's pickup days are going to change.
Mine's going from Tuesday to Thursday.
So good, you know that already. So, but we are going to put out notifications. We're going to send out notices in people's utility bills, and also we're going to put stickers on everyone's cart telling the new day when it gets picked up. And we know it's going to be a transition, and it's going to take a few weeks for people to get used to it. So, we understand all that. But I do want people to know that, that we're doing this to make it more efficient, more cost effective, for the entire city. So,
but you do believe in communication. I mean, even going to putting a note on the garbage can.
Well, everybody goes and picks up their can, and we just feel like that's a good place to really put out there. And
well, it is. They've got to pull it out to the curb.
That's right.
They're most likely going to see that notice on there and be reminded, even if they already know it. A good reminder.
That's right. And I believe they're going to be color coded, and it'll have the day on there. So each day will have a different color. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible on everyone, because I know we've been picking up carts on the same day for years, and this was a transition actually. I think it's been talked about for a few years now, but we just felt like that it was time to do it. It's I was talking yesterday. It's always tough to make a change, but sometimes you just need to do it, to make it more efficient, more cost effective, and that's really why.
Well, I think you put some time and study into this to figure out a way to do this, and just because the garbage pickup's on a different day, I mean that's a very slight change. We can all get used to that.
Oh yeah, that's right. As long as it gets picked up, that's the main thing.
Right. At no extra cost.
That's right, no extra cost. But talking about the budget, I will say this. I'll tell you a funny story. The other night, we were out in town, and a gentleman walks up to me. He starts talking about the budget. He said, "I've been reading a lot about the budget, and he started talking about this and that, and I kept thinking, I don't recognize this. This is information I don't know." And finally, I realized he was talking about the county budget. And so I just want to make sure everyone knows there's a county budget and there's a city budget,
and there's a county mayor and a city mayor.
And there's a county mayor and a city mayor, and so we're passing the city budget, and the city budget is not going to have a property tax increase. I don't know what the county is going to do, but I just don't want to get the blame for it.
All right. With that, we will take our break. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is here. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:48, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still looks pretty good right now. It's just busy coming down Ellington Parkway. It got flooded a few minutes ago over there on Ellington Parkway with all that traffic volume because people were trying to avoid 65 South at Trinity Lane, which is flowing a whole lot better than it was. At one point, we had at least 10 cars involved in a crash. Again, that's what aggravated all that traffic flow here on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. It's busy, but it's moving coming through Mount Juliet. All that traffic headed towards Nashville from Wilson County, Spence Lane, and Murfreesboro Pike. That intersection was tied up a few minutes ago on a crash. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken is hiring in all their locations. Check out that menu today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tdec Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
The company, thanks for joining us. We always appreciate Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell being with us after each city council meeting, and every once in a while on another occasion if the situation warrants it. But I think you like coming out here, and I know I like having you out here.
Well, thank you. I do like coming out here. I mean, it's informational for all your listeners, but it's fun. I mean, coming out here and talking to you and getting to see MJ every morning, and eventually Susie will walk in and you'll talk to her. It's
you've kind of become part of the family.
Well, thanks. I was talking to Fred last night, Burton, and of course he's on every Saturday night, and he was talking about the new equipment out here, how much he loves it, and I know there's a lot of changes going on out here, but it looks like everything's working well.
I think so, and when we're still not through, but I keep saying we're getting there, and progress can be slow, as you know. You've been in, even though you taught history at Cumberland for a long time, your family's been in business all these years. You've got a great background for a lot of things, and no doubt that helps you even being mayor.
Well, thank you. And things do go slower than I would like, and I'll just give you an example. Last few weeks ago, we announced the new stores are going into the old Kmart Center, which we're really happy about. But to give you an idea of what the process is like, I was elected in November of 2020, and as soon as I was sworn in, I met with them about bringing in stores, about their plans, and moving forward. And a year and a half later, it got announced. So, sometimes I like for things to happen quickly, but I also know that that's not always the case, and so it does get frustrating sometimes, and especially, I know people want new things, and we want restaurants and stores and things like that, and I promise we're working on them. Sometimes it's just a slow process.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to last night's meeting here. I don't think we're through, but especially as far as the budget goes, the budget for this is 22-23 fiscal year budget passed on first reading unanimously. So I would take it by that, if there wasn't a lot of discussion or anything, that it's pretty much a formality to get it passed second time.
Well, I think it is. We had a lot of discussions in our work sessions, and a lot of great questions were asked and a lot of things. And so, everyone was involved. So, when it came time to the vote, I believe everybody felt comfortable with it. They had all their information, had their booklets and pamphlets that they were using to get their information. So, I anticipate that it'll pass second reading unanimously, and we'll be ready to roll on July 1 to start the new fiscal year.
Well, I don't know how big a hurdle this was, but by this passing unanimously on first reading, I mean, it's sort of like you're almost home free here and ready to rock and roll come July 1.
Almost. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. It's like we were talking about baseball earlier. It's not over till you get the last out. but yeah, I mean, we feel good about it. We've worked hard on it. And we've done everything we can to make the process smooth for everyone, make it efficient for everyone. And every year we do the budget. I learned something new about the process to make it better the next year. And so we've already talked about, next year some of the changes we may do as far as our work session schedules and things like that. But but everybody worked hard. Everybody's very active, and I appreciate that because, really this is our most important job is taking care of the money.
Yeah.
Because it's the people's money, it's not ours, and we need to make sure we spend it effectively, and that's what this process is all about.
All right, you've got a number of things on for your notes here, and I can't believe we've got through half of them yet.
Well, we haven't. We talked about one thing, but there were a couple things on the agenda last night that I think is important. There's a Tdec project that's going to happen on North Cumberland. They're going to put sidewalks on 231 North from Forest Avenue to North Casites Avenue. There are a lot of pedestrians in that area, so we feel like that's important to make sure that gets complete. So that process is going to start, and also grants are a big part of what we do now. Anthony Tate, he's our grant writer, and getting money that's not local tax money, that we can spend, and so last night the council approved for us to apply for a Tdec Grant. It's a water infrastructure grant program that can be used for stormwater, any of our water systems and wastewater systems. And, we could receive up to $50 million. Now, it's other people are applying for it as well, but still, if you don't try, you won't get it. So that's something I think is important as well for people to know that we are trying to get other funding other than just local funding. And I did announce a few appointments last night. Chuck Daly agreed to serve another term on the Planning Commission, so I appreciate him doing that. And then Ed Stanford, who's been on the beer board since the year 2000, he agreed to serve another term. So that's something the city council actually has to approve, so they approved that last night.
I hadn't seen Ed around much. Has he gone into the woodwork or something?
He's still around. He's still around. Maybe.
Well, he could probably say that about me, except the radio part.
Yeah. So I appreciate him doing that as well. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there are some events that have taken place and some that are going to take place. But one I think is really important. It's happening today at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're having the ribbon cutting for the new Carroll Bend Community Park down on the west side of Lebanon, and I really appreciate everyone working on that as well. This city council has supported that for a couple of years now. This actually started before I became mayor. Jean-Lynn Brinkman, who's the counselor in Ward 6, she spearheaded that. But Goodall Homes donated the land, about 16 acres. They also did some of the grading out there as well, and this is really a perfect example of a public-private partnership where a private entity and the city could partner on a park for everyone throughout the city who wants to go to this park, and it's going to be great. We're having the ribbon cutting today, and some of the grass still looks a little rough, hadn't grown in completely yet, but the playground is nice. It has a nice pavilion, has some pads for some future pavilions, but I think it's something everyone in the city can enjoy, and I want people to know that it's there and it's going to be open now, and to go out there and check it out.
Well, what time and how long the ceremony we're talking
It's
about?
going to be 11 o'clock this morning, and it's not going to be a long ceremony. It's just going to be a few people speak. I'm going to talk for a few minutes and
Cut a ribbon.
And cut a ribbon. Councilor Brinkman's going to speak for a few minutes, and a representative from Goodall Homes, and I think we're going to let William Porter, the Parks and Recreations Director, talk too. Now he may take a while, but the rest of us will be short. But it won't take long. But it's
Well, you're adding to William's workload.
That's right. So he needs to have something to say about it. But quality of life's important. Parks are important, and Don Fox Park has been used for many years, and we have the park on South Hartman now, and we're building a park in Ward 2 off Elmonier Street, and this is something that's growing. It's something that our citizens want, they deserve, and this is going to be a great addition to that.
Let me ask something, and you can hopefully this will be quick here, but I've noticed something is happening on the side of the road on the bypass as you go by Inman Court. What are they doing there? Traffic's down to one lane. That's a state, I guess.
I came through there today. That's a state thing, and I'm really not sure what it is.
Well,
but I'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't ask me. They just put some barricades up and started working. So,
well, they're evidently improving the drainage or doing something there. Okay, go ahead.
so that's happened at 11. So everyone's invited to that, and but please enjoy the park. It's going to be there for a long, long time, and I think it'll become more popular as time goes. Also, this past week or so, we've had some great celebrations. The Memorial Day celebration at the Veterans Plaza was last Monday, and that was a great day. And I urge everyone to spend Memorial Day morning at Veterans Plaza. It's a great event, and we honor the Gold Star families and veterans who sacrificed their lives for us. And then that same weekend was Nettie Jacobs Heritage Day out at the Fielder's Grove, which is a great day. And Rock the Block is something the Square Merchants are sponsoring on the Square. I saw you down there listening to some music and eating some food, and they're going to have that 3 more times throughout the summer. Right. So that's I really appreciate them doing that. But we also have a big event coming up. I want to remind everyone, we had a meeting just last week, kind of going over our 4th of July celebrations coming up out at the fairgrounds, and it's going to be food and music and activities and games and fireworks, and it's always a big crowd at that. But Patsy Anderson, she's working hard putting that together, and we think that's going to be a great event again this year as well. So
cornhole as well.
Cornhole as well. I wasn't going to bring that up, but as everyone knows, Coleman always plays the mayor in cornhole at the 4th of July celebration. Unfortunately, that's me now. But last year, I think I won 1 game. This year, my goal is to win 2. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, like you said, it ain't over till it's over.
It's not over till the last bag is thrown, right?
Right.
But I do look forward to that. That's going to be fun.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here, but thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, if not before.
All right. Thank you.
And that's it for Wednesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition, and until tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day.